Alright, so we have the Royal Kludge. This is the RK, where's it at? Right here, this is the RK98. It has brown switches, it has RGB backlights, it's hot swappable, and they're calling this a gaming keyboard, but this is supposed to be wireless, so anytime you have a wireless keyboard, I wouldn't really call it a gaming, but you can plug it in, and so then that is okay. Now let's zoom out. Now let's get this thing unboxed on what exactly comes in the box. So I like the packaging so far is really nice on what we got. All right. So we have the user manual here. I'm gonna have to go through that later. And then we have the keyboard itself. Now, I've never had a keyboard like this. I've never purchased a higher end keyboard before, but it actually has a protective cover on the keyboard itself. And this thing has a really nice kind of weight to it. So we're gonna have to break out the scale and kind of test that because it has a really nice weight to it. But let's take that off. So right away, so my favorite thing about this keyboard is that it is a smaller keyboard, but it still has the full number buttons over here, and that's really what I like. If you look right there, that's kind of cool. Right here, we have some dials on the bottom of that. That's cool. Checking out the bottom, we have rubber feet on each corner. And then we have, this does flip up, and it looks like we have two flip ups here. We have a smaller and a taller one. So there's two different levels that you can do here, which is pretty nice. And the keyboard itself already has an angle, so I'm probably going to check that out first. It looks like we have two switches here. One says on and off, and I'm not sure what this one does yet. Then we have the USB plug, and then we have two USB ports and a USB-C. So we're going to have to check out the manual on what that is for, but I'm definitely liking this keyboard so far a lot. Let's see what else we have in the box. So it looks like we have a keycap puller. We have some extra switches, that's really nice that they include that. And then we have the cable, and it looks like there's a, that's cool that they included a hook and loop wrap. And then they also, this is USB-C, but it looks like it can go USB-C to USB-C, or you can put on this adapter in case your laptop or your dock or your computer doesn't have a USB-C port. That's really cool that they included that, so we're gonna have to check that out. This is a metal keycap puller. I've never used one of these before, so we're gonna have to check that out later. I like that they included extra switches. But let's get this set up and see how it looks. Alright, so after going through the manual, which is definitely something I highly recommend, just because if this is a kind of keyboard that you've never had before, like myself, this keyboard has a lot of different functions that, you know, this is something I'm going to have to get used to. So right away, something that I was very confused about though was this on and off switch right here. So what this is for is turning on and off the Bluetooth only. So if you actually plug in your the keyboard into your computer, you can just leave this off. This is just to turn on the Bluetooth. Then we have to turn on the Bluetooth for what kind of connection you want, which is Bluetooth or the cable. And then you have a lot of like almost secret keys underneath here. I don't know if you guys can, if you can see this in the camera. Each one of these function keys has like a volume up and down, has different lighting, and you can actually change the RGB all without having to download any software onto your computer. So I can change what the RGB does, as you can see by that. You can actually like have it do different stuff. You can even change what color you want and what it does, which is really cool. You can even have it light up like certain colored hotkeys, which you might have to wait to get to. There you go. You can have it light up certain hotkeys, and there's a way you can even change those as well. There's going to be a picture of how much this thing actually weighs, because it is kind of heavy. I was actually very, very surprised, but that actually makes me like the keyboard even more. And when it comes to this USB thing, because the Bluetooth can actually be built into the keyboard itself, you don't even actually need to use this unless for certain, like let's say your computer or laptop doesn't have Bluetooth, then obviously you're going to have to use that. But there's a lot of functions. I would highly recommend going through the user manual if you get this. I love this. This is going to be my go-to keyboard, my main keyboard.